All right, Kooks, welcome back to the channel. We are here. We closed on our property. We officially did it. We are landowners. We did it.
Woo!
So yeah,
Man,
here
Kooks.
we are. We got a nice gate right at the entrance. And most importantly is we got a nice road. So the road leads in, private property, keep out. And the road leads in and goes up. So it's already done. The road's already here. It's already built. That's really nice. That's actually a huge reason why we bought it. And we're just gonna give you a little tour here, and we're just gonna kind of talk to you about the process. So we'll just walk through the property as we kind of talk. We got 5 acres. And so basically the process went like this. We always are searching Zillow in the area that we're in, some other areas as well.
As we're traveling.
Yeah, as we're traveling, and kind of just almost, if you're on the land search, you probably know it. You're always, actually I found this on Trulia. I stopped using Zillow because I just thought it was obnoxious and annoying. I thought Trulia was a little less invasive of my email inbox. But we found it on Trulia. So the process was constantly always looking for property, constantly always looking for something affordable in our range. This one popped up. We were just kind of hanging out and I saw it pop up, and it was well within our range, and it was much cheaper than anything we've seen for the same size. This is a 5-acre parcel. And the other thing was, whenever we see something like, we drive over there almost immediately. So we drove up here, and the first thing we noticed was, oh cool, it has a road. The other thing is, down at the bottom of the property, it's a little more open, and then up at the top it's a little more wooded. So we liked that there was kind of this mixture of, you know,
Types of land.
Yeah, being wooded and also having some kind of meadow space. So we liked it. We sat up here. There's actually a picnic table that the property came with that we were vlogging from last time. So we loved it. And you know, we drove back home and we just kept thinking about it, It was nicer than any property we've ever seen.
We came back to it, and the neighbors said a couple of people had come and looked at it. So of course that lit a fire under our butt.
Yeah.
Because we really liked it.
Yeah, so the next process from there is sometimes the listing will have a listing agent. In this case it did, but we also had our own realtor. So we grew up in Albuquerque. We got a lot of family and a lot of friends. So my mom hooked us up with one of her good friends who's a realtor, and that made the process a lot easier. Once we talked to the realtor, she kind of told us how it all works, what the process was. The other thing about the realtors is you're not paying for the realtor. The property owners, the sellers, they pay for the realtor's commission. So that comes out of their end when they sell the house. So, you know, the realtor is just going to help you make sure everything goes smooth, and it's essentially free just to have the realtor, you know, meet you, drive you around, and check stuff out.
Investigate all the things, all your questions.
Yeah, so the next steps was, I said, well, what do? We really like it, we want to move forward. Well, you make an offer.
It was cash only. That doesn't mean you can bring cash, we found out.
Yeah. So the cool thing was, before we closed, we talked with our neighbors, and they gave us a lot of insight on the property. They're actually pretty close with the property owner, and they kind of told us, oh yeah, I made an offer on the property, you know, last year for 20 grand, and he almost took it. And then he talked to his realtor and they decided not to take it. So I already knew the guy was ready to basically liquidate the property and move on. So that kind of helped us when we made our offer. We put in an offer, we came in well under, probably a little too under, but the cool thing about that was the owner has the right to counter offer. So once we got a counter offer in place, we accepted the deal, and what did we have to do? We had to sign.
And the thing that we did too is we did an offer, and we said this offer is good for 72 hours.
That's right.
Because we didn't want anyone else that was looking at the property to possibly out offer us.
Yes, so when you put the offer in, the property is technically, you know, if you make the first offer, it's you kind of have dibs on it until the offer is accepted. He countered the offer about $5,000 more, and we were able to get a really good deal on the property. Cool thing is, so a couple of things we wanted on the property after kind of trial and error and looking at many properties, talking to many real estate agents, also talking to locals. If you're looking at a property and someone's outside, just talk to them, ask them pitfalls, any issues they had. A couple issues we knew coming in here was there's no well on the property, and a lot of the neighbors just haul water. But I noticed driving in today that a lot of people actually do have wells. I talked to some of them, and their wells are about 500 to 700 feet deep. So that's fairly deep, but I've talked to other people in the more kind of arid areas, and their wells were 2,500 feet deep. So I think we're just going to go with the water haul, seeing that the well is kind of out of the budget now.
To start off.
So that was part of the offer, right? We were like, okay, no water. And then there was a road, so we were happy with paying a little more. And then also the power. So before we made the offer, we investigated the power. You can even call the power company, make sure the transformer is set and ready for an additional home. Once we got the feedback that all we would need was a line extension, then we knew that, you know, that's much cheaper than us having to, you know, run
another transformer.
Yeah, or run power lines in the sky from way down the street to here. Luckily, at the top of the property, there is a transformer already in place for the other two homes.
And they had built out that transformer for the 4 properties. So there's only 4 properties up here. So they had made it so that the transformer was big enough in case people bought the properties. So we got lucky there.
Yeah, and then we accepted the counter offer, and then we basically went into closing. Took a little bit of time, more time than you would think. You'd think you would put in an offer and close. Danny mentioned the cash thing. They're like, yeah, it's cash. And, you know, being van lifers, saving all of our money, we actually had the cash in hand, but they didn't want that. So then we had to put it all in the bank and pay that way. But the cool thing is we didn't have to finance it. We've saved a lot of money living on the road, you guys. All you got to do is have a decent little gig working in your van. You will be amazed how much money you actually save living in your van. So we put that offer in, they accepted it. We went into closing. That took some time. We had to get all of our documents situated.
And the thing is we saved so much because we were in the van for so long. We've been in the van, you know, van life since like 2016. So we've been able to save for that long.
Yep. Yeah. So now that it's closed, now that it had closed, we, you know, did all the stuff at the title company, wrote the check, sent it in, plus the earnest money. And then basically it closed. Before we closed, though, we did have to have a survey done. That was, and we had to split the cost. I think we ended up spending about $250 each on a survey. That was an additional cost. And I think that was kind of it, right? We got the survey done. That's when we learned that the road was on our property. It's actually not on the easement, it's on our property. So we technically own the road, and we're giving our neighbors access to their homes, which is fine.
And we love our neighbors. That was another piece of the puzzle where it was like, these guys are cool. These guys always come out. They always are willing to help with anything we have going on. So having good neighbors was definitely something we were looking for too.
Yeah, and the neighbors are a plus, super friendly. I think that we met them actually the first day we came out and looked at the property.
They talked to us each for an hour.
Yeah,
probably.
And they were super friendly, super helpful, and they gave us a lot of feedback, information. Some of them have lived here for quite a while. Talked about having water haul, talked about it not being an issue, told us the cost, all those stuff. So we factored in all that information, and this was one we just had to jump on. It has the power, it has the road, 5 acres. That was kind of our maximum acreage. seeing once you walk the property, it's actually quite a bit of space. We kind of were thinking 10, but after looking at some bigger properties, I think 5 was more kind of our speed. So we got plenty of space out here. We got a lot of work to do. We're going to try to do it all ourselves, whatever we can do. Obviously, we'll contract for crews when we need it, but I'm basically going to be the general contractor of this entire project, save some money. A lot of my friends are general contractors, so I can just bounce questions. We're really fortunate to be in the area where we grew up. All of our high school, college friends are here, and they've all kind of transitioned into professional careers and are going to be incredibly helpful for us. So yeah, we got the realtor, step 1. Also always looking at comps. That'll help you make an offer, seeing what other stuff is going for in the area. And you know, don't be afraid to shoot low, but you don't want to go too low, because if we went too low, they could have just denied it. And then, you know, if someone came in higher than us that same day, we would have been screwed. The lucky thing was we were doing it kind of in a slow time here in the early fall, when I guess
Around like
the realtor said it was slower. So we were able just to sneak in there, get that offer in, get the counter offer, accept it, you know, signed our lives away. And we're just excited. We don't have a payment on the property, so we own it free and clear. And that's going to help us when we build the house. So we can use our land as a down payment. They call it land in lieu. We just learned this stuff recently, and we can use the land as collateral for a down payment on a construction loan. So now that we got the house, lots of planning is going to be in place. We're gonna have to plan where we want everything, what we're gonna do. There's a lot of decisions to make, but we pretty much got an idea where we want to develop and build the property. Kind of up at the top where the road is a little more closer, and it just seems a little easier.
Closer to power.
And also, yeah, and another nice thing is we're south facing, so once the snow starts coming in, the snow melts a little bit quicker on this south aspect. Our friends live on the north side, and they had quite a bit of snow when we were over there last year. Getting a realtor, knowing that, you know, you're not going to pay the realtor to drive you around and look at properties and help you make the process quicker. The seller's going to, you know, pay for all those costs. And then putting in your offer, doing your due diligence. Once you kind of put the offer in, the title company sends you the covenants, basically the rules of the area. We had pretty loose covenants. We still had a minimum square footage on a house of 1,500 square feet, but everything else was pretty relaxed. We can have goats, we can have chickens, we can have horses, we can have everything essentially except for pigs. And cows. So
I think you can have 2 cows.
I think we can have 1 cow per 5 acres.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Down the way we were driving, and our neighbors have a bunch of goats. They probably have about 30 goats over there. So we can have some livestock if we want, and we, you know, that's going to take us a minute to get there, but we're going to have a lot of fun building this, and y'all are in for a real treat. And then here in the next episode, we're going to start making some big decisions. We're going to, you know, we're going to see what we can do, what's affordable, what our kind of route is with all this. Like I said in that first video, we're trying to come in around $300,000 with the property. Everyone's thinking in their mind like, yeah, right, impossible. But I know we can do this, especially if we take on a lot of the work ourselves. So yeah, Kooks.
And I would say, I guess, like some of the things that we were looking for, right? Like that we ran into, because I think we said it in the other video, but like, when we were looking for land, making sure that we could build a road that didn't break the budget. This already had a road, so that was like a check already. Making sure it was like, so we still like want to travel internationally and stuff like that. So making sure we were close to like an international airport within 30-hour, 2 hours, you know, something pretty close, 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, not 30 hours.
I was like 30 hours.
Like 30 minutes, an hour, something like that. And we got ours within about 45 minutes.
So the closest town is Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's about 40 minutes away, so we can get to the international airport in 40 minutes and also get supplies, Home Depot, Lowe's, groceries, all just about 40 minutes away. That's nothing for us. You live
but
in your...
It still feels like you're like in...
Yeah, we are out here. You can bear it. We're only a mile from the pavement, and you can barely hear the road. I can barely hear it right now. I can hear a hog, like a Harley going by. Other than that, you're not really hearing any road noise. So it's nice and quiet and peaceful, and it's also going to be much cooler up here, so we are going to get some snow, and in the summer it's not going to be as scorching hot as it can be in Albuquerque. So yeah, I think that's it. Just number one, do your due diligence. We went through all the documents the title company sent us. We also talked to some of our friends, realtors, you know, a lot of contacts that we've built through the years, and just double checked, triple checked before we signed anything that had it set in stone. But we're really happy with what we got. We got an incredible deal, and I think we're just very fortunate to have found this. The timing was all perfect. It was basically, you know, right after we came back from a van gathering event. I was just browsing and I was like, look, we got to go up there right now and look at it. And we went up and we just fell in love with it. So take your time, right? The first property is not gonna be the right one. And one more thing I do want to note, the ground, relatively dirt. We've gone to some properties and they've been like a freaking rock field, a giant crag, you know, so
and
that,
relatively flat-ish.
Yes.
It has a grade, but it's relatively flat.
Yeah, it does have a slight grade, but it doesn't look like much in the camera, so it's very subtle. You can kind of see behind us, it starts to slope down. We're gonna, you know, also probably build some fun stuff up here, bike park, bike course in the winter when we get snow, a little jib park for the snowboards. Whew, but we got to get this shit done because we got the baby coming in July, and man, we are excited. Sometimes it's the excitement is keeping you up at night because you're thinking of all the possibilities with the property
and all the things you need to do.
Yeah, but Kooks, if you're out there trying to build a property, just keep following along. We're going to go through every step, any problem, any issues we have, and we're going to do it all ourselves. So y'all are with us on the adventure, the new adventure, the Land Kooks adventure, and we're excited for this journey, and we can't wait to see you guys next video. We're going to start breaking ground very soon, and yeah, we'll keep y'all posted on that as well. So like and subscribe, you know, if you haven't and you're interested in this type of content. Leave us some comments, any ideas you have for us out here, any questions, anything you might have come across on your journey if you've done this as well. So thank you so much, Kooks. We can't wait to see y'all next time. Like and subscribe one more time if you haven't, somewhere on this screen, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace out, Kooks.